Good day. This is Midshipman Harrison Debler, second class, and in this video I will be performing a steering gear test prior to departure in answering question 2k of Shipboard Systems 2. The first part of the steering gear test will be to check the oil level in the pump tanks. Here the level is good. Next we will test the follow-up local control on the number 4 steering gear unit. First we'll start the pump. These units are spot checked every time the steering gear test is performed. Next we will switch the controls into local, and then we will cycle the steering gear unit in each direction. As you can't really see, but it is happening, the steering gear is cycled in each direction. Here we will check for the power fail changeover on the number 4 steering gear unit. We'll kill the power from the breaker, and then the number 2 unit will automatically switch on, and the alarm will sound. Next, I will be testing the low oil and low oil alarms on the number 3 steering gear unit. This will also test the automatic changeover from the number 3 to the number 1 unit. As I head up to the number 3 unit tank, I will test the float switch test buttons, and this will sound an alarm as well as automatically change over the number 3 unit to the number 1 unit as there is a sensed low oil level. Next we will test the local non-follow-up controls on the number 1 steering gear unit. First we will lock in the solenoid valve. Next I will head over to the steering gear unit number 1 and test the manual control at the actual servo unit. Here I will cycle the steering gear unit from the non-follow-up manual control on the number 1 servo unit. These tests are spot checked on each of the units, so we do not have to test all 4 units at every departure. After the test, I will release the emergency solenoid. Here is a picture of the physical non-follow-up control. Here I will call up to the bridge from the steering gear room, informing the bridge that the engine department is done with the steering gear test and that they may commence their portion of the steering gear test. At this portion of the test, the bridge will test the number 1 and the number 2 steering gear unit as a set. After they perform their test, they will turn on the number 3 and 4 steering gear unit to run both sets. After performing this test, they will switch off the number 1 and 2 unit set, and they will test the 3 and 4 steering gear unit as a set. Once the bridge is complete with their portion of the steering gear test, they will call down to the steering gear room via the sound-powered phone and inform the engine department that the test is complete. They will call down on the sound-powered phone as to test both means of communication to the steering gear, the primary means being the automatic telephone that was used at the beginning of the video. This will conclude the steering gear test as performed on board the Maersk Hartford at every departure. These tests are important in ensuring that the steering gear unit is properly functioning before the ship leaves port for maneuvering.